We haven't had a weekend like this in a long time.
We saw shootings related to disputes over cars being booted. We saw a nephew take the life of his uncle. We saw individuals shot in domestic violence disputes and disputes over dating.
Well, it was one of the most shocking stretches of gun violence in Atlanta for some time. 37 people shot since last Thursday. The largest scene, a mass shooting on Edgewood Avenue where 11 people were shot in the middle of the street. This was just one of 3 shootings which happened along a stretch of Auburn Avenue just blocks away from the King Center. Mayor Andre Dickens says this stretch of violence deals a blow to the work of reducing gun violence here in the city.
Even though crime is down in Atlanta, a weekend like this can affect a whole city, and it should not happen. As we continue to make Atlanta even safer, we must work together. Government, community organizations, businesses, faith leaders, our neighborhoods, and our parents and families. We all have a role to play in ensuring that no more families suffer the pain of preventable loss.
Liliana Bakhtiari from the Atlanta City Council joins us now. Her district includes a stretch of Edgewood Avenue, which includes the Sweet Auburn district, where a lot of this gun violence took place. Welcome to the show, first of all.
Thank you for having me.
All right, and what's your reaction to what happened over the weekend and the mayor's comments?
One, the mayor is absolutely correct. Our violent crimes have been on a downward trend with this administration and with this chief of police. I think that in one word, I'm devastated. This was a completely preventable incident, and lives were lost and families will be affected, and this will create trauma for years to come.
Yeah, so you're saying this is not a fluke type of thing? Well, this is more of a fluke type of thing because violence has been down. You haven't seen much of it, so this is kind of maybe, hopefully, a one-off, right?
Hopefully. We're seeing extreme heat. We're seeing people that have unregulated access to guns that don't really know how to use guns, and they are resorting to usage of this in high emotional states, and quite a few people that are experiencing mental health issues. So we're doing all we can to combat it, but hoping that this is a one-off because this has not been typical of our city in the last few years.
Describe to us your district there, the Edgewood Avenue area, and why do you think there was a lot of gun violence in this particular area?
It's a vibrant commercial node. We have extraordinary small businesses over there. I cannot yet speak to why this happened. We know when it occurred. We know the individuals that were on the street were there after hours, after bars closed, after people were in their beds, after things had wound down. We don't yet know why we were there. We don't yet know who these individuals are. Mm-hmm. We do know the amount of shell casings we found. We do know that we have one person, as you heard, unfortunately pass, 1 critically injured, and 9 more that are injured but stable. Yeah. So we are still waiting to find out who is responsible for this and why it happened.
Yeah, certainly you want to hear about any lives lost, but certainly given the scenario, I guess a decent looking outcome. But when you think about the current APD staffing and patrol in this particular area, do you think it was significant to cover this corridor of businesses on this stretch?
This area, we have incredible police presence and officers in this community. I think it's important to note that this happened after operating hours, after the street was mostly empty. I do believe our police presence there we have incredible officers on the ground. I do believe they need additional resources, and I do believe the city is doing everything possible to create reasons to retain our officers, to make sure that we have them here and they're taken care of. But we do have good police presence there. Yeah. But this is teaching us that we need additional resources.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, City Council's role in this in the long-term fight to reduce crime. What's you guys' role in it?
I think it's important to note that we live in a state with constitutional carry. It's very difficult to combat weapons and gun violence when it's so prolific in our communities. As I said before, this was completely avoidable. It is easier to get a gun than it is to get a prescription filled in the state of Georgia. What council is doing is we're continuing to educate people. We're continuing to tell them, do not leave weapons in your car. We're looking at lockbox programs. We're looking at nonprofits like Cure Violence to find out the underlying reason why our youth are resorting to gun violence, while there are certain people resorting to gun violence, trying to find the underlying reasons, because that's where we can actually make the difference, because we cannot change the laws. That's dictated by state and federal. So what we can do is the best we can do to adapt instead of just being reactionary, finding out how we prevent these things before they happen, which is not going to be easy, but we're dedicated to figuring it out.
Is it really alarming that this was so close to the King Center?
It is alarming when there is any type of shooting of this magnitude in our city. It is alarming when this happens on a corridor where people live, in a vibrant commercial node, where there are senior towers, where there are churches, where it is the cradle of the civil rights movement. But if this had happened anywhere in our city, I would say it's uncommon and absolutely devastating.
Yeah. What will you tell people? I heard you talk about education, but what would you tell people who live in this corridor to help in that fight to reduce gun violence?
Well, this corridor, everyone here is already reaching out. I'm already working with local community stakeholders to create a task force. The administration has been incredibly helpful. APD is out there still aggressively investigating. We're making sure to stay in touch with those owners and with those neighbors. And in terms of additional information that can be given, for those, if you have testimony, if you have photo evidence, if you have video, if you have any information that you can report, we are asking that folks please get in touch with APD. And if you are worried about being known, if you want to make that tip anonymously, you can go to crimestoppersatlanta.org or you can call 404-577-TIPS. So, but please, please, please reach out because it takes a community to combat issues like these.
All right,
But I
Liliana.
do believe we will figure it out. And my dedication is to regaining hope, earning back hope and trust from the community and prevent this from ever happening again.
All right, Liliana Bakhtiari, thanks so much for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, take care.